Let's get it.
Is the face in the misty light.
Hello, wonderful world. How you doing? This is Rara from Bantu Otaku, here to give you the facts and tidbits and document moments of my life, right? So, apparently, about what just happened, right? I know you see the title, and yeah, the Falcon General was on some shit. I don't know. Maybe it was in good faith. I'm not clarified on everything yet, but I should supposed to engage in this in a good faith manner, right? So, yeah, I guess I was invited randomly at that to come to a server, and being in good faith, I was like, okay, cool, like you want me to come to a server and discuss black nationalism and so on, as you can see from these screenshots, right? I don't I didn't know the specifics. I didn't know, who, what, when, where, how, and why, right? And I should be a lot more cautious. But I approached this in good faith because I was like, okay, well, meeting new people, having more discussions, that's not a bad thing, right? So I jumped in this person's server, and when I jumped in this person's server, apparently one of the people were live streaming. Now, mind you, I didn't even know that it was a live stream. I thought this was a private discussion of black nationalism and politics. I didn't know this was like some weird anarchist structure where everyone is trying to debate each other on opinions and stuff, and all that. I just would have been like, no, I'm not interested. But to me, I feel like I was sidelined. So naturally, I reacted as such. So like people will post opinions. I'm not here to debate my livelihood, things that matter the most to me. Like, to me, that's not productive, right? Like, I spend a large part of my platform trying to dismantle stuff like that, right? So like, to me, it's like, okay, y'all are people, whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know y'all not like that, so I'm not like projecting anything, but I'm just trying not to engage in this. And it just, from like that person's perspective in live stream, it might be a shit show, right? To me, I feel like I handle myself well, whether people can hear me or was listening or not. But to me, I just don't consent to being on someone's platform. And when I ask for a link to the profile and you say, oh, you're going to cancel me, I feel like you're going to cancel me or you're going to get my profile reported or deleted. To me, that's white fragility. That's white guilt, right? To me, it shows that you cannot even hold a good stand with me. And for Yella Brick Road to sit there and say, well, you can't say that, or try to come up with a counter talking point to the information I present, to me, that's why identity politics, because you're forsaking what I have to say, in my opinion, to take on your opinion. Like, if you was talking to me in good faith and you feel like you did nothing wrong, you shouldn't have no issue with doing that. But if you're doing that, you're doing it to protect yourself, which means you're doing something wrong. That means you did do something wrong, right? Because you're incriminating your own self. That's what you're projecting. I didn't say what I was going to do with this documentation, and I don't hide what I do. Like, I provided my platform. I provided links to my spaces. So, like, all my brains and all my platforms are, like, unified. It's really connected, right? So, it's not like they couldn't. It ain't like they don't know this. I told them this, and I explained that to them. They asked for my talking positions, I gave them my perspective. Now, I did mute people because I did that not only for my health, but the health of everyone else. I didn't come on there to argue. like I said, I didn't consent to it. I was sidelined by the Falcon by inviting me in here. I'm not mad at anyone, right? And I'm not even particularly upset, right? To me, it just is what it is. But like the way things went down is just it's very disingenuous. And like for the fact that people want me to engage with them in good faith is very bad. It's just bad in general because legally speaking, I'm in my right. Like I'm in my right to tell you I don't want to be documented. I'm in my right to tell you I don't consent to having my information put out there. Definitely, if I wasn't forewarned, even a person who's streaming could have like informed me because a lot of people on my server, a lot of people who hop into Discord while I'm streaming knows this stuff. They know this stuff in advance. To me, it's etiquette. It's proper etiquette as streamers and influencers to maneuver in this manner. And to like that person to say, well, you know, they don't have no structure. They don't have no genuine, you know, how can I say this? Like they don't have no genuine method of doing things. To me is disingenuous. And even an excuse that while I'm playing my game, I can't send you a link. That is like, that's all bad faith. So you know what you're doing is wrong and you know what you're doing is bad, right? To me, that's guilt. That's guilt and fragility. Because you know what you're engaging is anti-black in your platform and that. And to me, it's not wrong with having a platform that could convert people on the right and, you know, whatnot. You know, like, stop the terrorism, right? That's important. But when you're refuting arguments of Afrocentricity, when you're, like, dismissing what I have to say, but you genuinely want me on, when you're not really trying to engage with me in a good faith manner, or even, like, share each other's platforms, like I've did out of respect, despite not knowing you and having context of, like, what your platform is, rather I would be on there, right? To me, it shows. It shows in the end who's what, when, or why, because from my perspective, I'm just making a void. I'm just documenting this into the void, right? I don't know your space. I don't know who you hang with. I don't know who you chill with. The only thing I know is the Falco in general sent me a link to the server to talk about black nationalism, right? And I asked if that person was black, right? Because like to me, identity politics give me insight into and help me out with analysis of who I'm dealing with. Because it's like what we say in ballroom culture, right? Like it's about reading. To me, it's survival in many instances. It helps me give insight and foresight what's going on. I approach this in good faith because it was the Falcon in general. But like, you know, I get into the space and I talk to this person right here, right? Let me bring up their platform.
The following presentation is a parody illustrating the end.
Oh, give me a second, guys. I have to click all this stuff over because, like, whenever I switch windows over, I have to, like, readjust it. It's a pain in the ass when working OBS. But, y'all gonna work with me, right? But, like, you know, I'm getting sent links to this space, right? And I'm like, okay, well, obviously this is the server of the person I'm in, right? But the person I'm talking to is not that person, clearly. Because if it was that person, like, hold on, let me show y'all what the hell this person looks like, right? This is their name on Discord, right? At the time, you know, their platform is supposed to be propaganda. They go by the name Tittyfish 9637, right? So this is the person's stream I'm on, and you know, we're just having a conversation, and they upset because they're like, well, you're interrupting the flow. You're interrupting how things are working. I'm like, well, I do things differently. I operate by a different manner. You know, I like things more structured. I don't like the anarchist structure where everybody debate and play devil's advocate for entertaining conversation because people think it converts people from the right. Like, if that's your prerogative, that's you, but that's a you problem. That's not me problem. But to me, I like I said how I said, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Like, that's why I have previous content for documentation, right? I'm not going to keep reiterating myself. To me, it's counterproductive to people who's already watching me. But, you know, I'm just making this video to address that. Like, this tittyfish person who didn't want to share their link. And, like, I feel like I handled myself and I said what I need to say. So if I ever do get documentation or if that stream ever made public and I'm heard correctly, like, you know, I feel like I said what I need to say there and I shouldn't have to repeat myself even here. It's just that I'm documenting this. So this is fresh in my mind, right? This is like a refresher for me, right? It's like, okay, I know this exists. I know this is not like I didn't get gaslit because even the Falcon didn't even get back to me on anything. So I'm sitting here dumbfounded, like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? I didn't. Hold on. I didn't got pulled into the server on a live stream talking with people, motherfuckers talking about they can destroy me and they can destroy my arguments. Now this is the Yellow Brick Road character, right? Hold on. This is the Yellow Brick Road character, right? The same person who have this YouTube channel, right? So like this person, like, yeah, I can destroy you and I disagree. And it's like, okay, you disagree with me, like, good for fucking you. Like, you want to fucking cookie for disagreeing with me for like like sharing the same perspective I do. That's you, right? To me, it sounds like white identity politics and something Eurocentric, but like that's your prerogative, right? Like you're part of the problem. But at the end of the day, I'm worried about this person having me on a platform because innately I was invited by the Falcon in general, and I naturally assumed that maybe this was most likely a private conversation, and I don't actively consent. Even now, after having this conversation and the way that person behaved on a live stream, I still don't feel like I consent to that being released, or even consent to my, like, if they're going to release that, they better chop me out of it, something. I just don't want my parts in there. I don't want made that made public unless I can get a copy of it, unless I can get like a documentation. Because like me, I deal with a lot of documentation, so that's why if I go on people platforms, we talked about this prior, we discussed this, we both actively consented to your discussion. If somebody ever told me in the end that they want me to delete the stuff, I would delete it out of respect for them because they don't want it on there, right? So I would take that down. But at the end of the day, it's still documentation. So if anything happened or occurs, whatever the case may be, it's still documented, right? So like to me, it's very strange because like I've realized when you in these political spaces or intersecting with these political spaces, people move in weird manners, and plus they're open to the alt-right and people who are considered Nazis and terrorists due to my lineage, right? Due to my heritage, right? So to me, like, I have to be like suspicious when being invited into these spaces and places, definitely if I don't know where attack could come from. So to me, this is documentation. This is content in YouTube language. This is content, but to me, this is documentation, right? If it's entertaining you, then like you get your fucking priorities straight, because I'm a real life fucking person, right? So like it just is what it is. I could continue to play games and whatnot if there's people watching, but there's never nobody watching my streams. Like, let's get real, right? So like that's it. That's all I have to say, and I'll keep y'all updated because the Falcon never got back to me, and like I'm pretty sure Yella didn't permanently ban me out of their server because I muted everybody, right? I muted everybody because Titty Fish wasn't trying to give me the link to their YouTube channel or live stream so I could get documentation or even have prior contact with the person after said live stream. That's why I muted everyone and sat quietly, because I didn't want to actually sit there and disturb the flow of anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted the documentation because I don't consent to being on it, but I do want documentation. Otherwise, they can cut me out. They can private that live stream or something and cut me out and repost it publicly or something. Like, I do have my own lunch counter. I do have my own lunch table. I run things my own way. And like, to me, that's just how I move. Like I didn't know. I got sidelined. And I'm not trying to impugn nobody. I'm just saying exactly for what it is, out of respect. Like, because this should be efficacy, right? But, things ain't fair. And, I say what it is. I name what it is. I talk about it already. Shouldn't have to repeat myself. So that's it. I'm going to see y'all later, and enjoy your fucking night.
I always had hopes of being a big star. Then I look, as you get older, you aim a little lower. And I just say, well, yeah, you still might make an impression. Everybody wants to leave something behind them. Some impression, some mark up on the world. And then you think, you left a mark on the world. If you just get through it. And a few people remember your name. Then you left a mark. You don't have to bend the whole world. I think it's better to just enjoy it. pay your dues, and enjoy it. If you shoot an arrow and it goes real high, hooray for you.